Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, man, first off, man, this is the AEW Rampage review. I mentioned this in the Dynamite review that last week's review of AEW Rampage will be fused together with tonight's AEW Rampage review for February the 11th. And the reason is because last week for AEW Rampage, I didn't get a chance to upload it. So it's already recorded. So yeah, it's already recorded. And yeah, and it's gonna be fused together. So yeah, that's why tonight for AEW Rampage, we're gonna see last week's AEW Rampage from February the 4th. We're gonna see that first, and then we're gonna right after that we're gonna see the AEW Rampage review for February the 11th, 2022. So yeah, man. So first off, if you haven't done it already, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So yeah, so now let's get to the show. And we're gonna start off the show with the AEW Rampage review for February the 4th, 2022. Now let's get to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about AEW Rampage for February the 4th, 2022. Yeah, man, overall, man, enjoyed the show. Really great show. Enjoyed that TNT Championship match and enjoyed that FTW title match, man. FTW title match was probably my favorite match on the show. And the TNT Championship match was also good. But yeah, these were two of the best things on this show. You know, everything else was good too, but those two title matches, man, were the best on this show. So yeah, so that was pretty much AEW Rampage, man. Pretty much AEW Rampage. You know, same as usual, 1 hour show. So yeah, I say this all the time in the intro, man. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, or if you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show for the first time ever, because I'm here each and every single week, man. So of course, AEW Rampage is a tape show, and so we are still in Chicago, Illinois. And so our first match of the night, we had Adam Cole versus Evil Uno of the Dark Order. And so yeah, man. So Cole, he unloaded on Uno. He hit a backstabber to Uno, and so Uno, he started fighting back, and so they were both going back and forth at that point. And then Cole had hit a series of super kicks to Uno, and so to end the match, we had Adam Cole. He hit his finishing move, the boom, to Uno to win the match. So therefore, Adam Cole wins the match. That was it with the match. Very quick match, man. And so yeah, so right after the match, we had Adam Cole. He spoke.
Frankie Kazarian, Jungle Boy, Anthony Green, John Silver, Wheeler Yuta, Orange Cassidy, Jake Atlas, Khan, Trent Beretta, and now Evil Uno. How about we play a little game, everybody? What do all these men have in common? I'll tell you, they're involved in Adam Cole's undefeated singles run here in AEW. Because I am undefeated. My record says so, and I don't give a damn about last week. As far as I'm concerned, that doesn't exist. But you want to know what does exist? A new Adam Cole here in AEW. A different Adam Cole, a ruthless Adam Cole, an Adam Cole who takes what he wants. And what I want, for the love of God, what I want is some respect. People seem to forget who the hell I am. I am one of the best damn pro wrestlers, not just in AEW,
In the world,
but on
man.
the planet.
That's right. Yes, sir.
I have traveled the globe for years. I have won world championship after world championship for years.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, Adam Cole always ends up becoming the guy. No matter the promotion, no matter the company, no matter the brand, Adam Cole, baby, always ends up running the show.
Yes, right. Yep.
There is something else that I want, and I swear to God, I could care less who has it. Because I want to leave everybody with this. Because everyone, at the end of the day, they crave certainty. And there's one thing that is certain. I will become the AEW World Champion.
And that was it, man.
Putting it down right there, man. Adam Cole called his shot.
And that was it, man. That was it with Adam Cole and what he had to say. And so, yeah, man. So, Adam Cole, he finally going after some gold, man. And the AEW World Championship. So, yeah, man. Cannot wait to see it, man. I think it's MJF's time, though, to hold on to that championship, though. But, yeah, man. We'll love to see Adam Cole go after that Page in that championship. And so, yeah, man. So, that was pretty much it with that in the match. And so, yeah. So, right after that, man, we had Jade Cargill, the TBS Women's Champion, or the TBS Champion, and Smart Mark Sterling. They were backstage and they spoke.
That's right. I got all you slobs to stop flipping through your channels just to see my fine ass. Mark.
Very recently, for Jade's first title defense, we got to see her become 25-0. And then, for her second defense, we got to see her become 26-0.
Of course.
And very soon, we're going to see her become 27-0 undefeated.
Cause I'm green, right? Green like money. So the next question is, who's next on my show? That bitch show.
And that was it, man. So, yeah, man. So, who is next? We're going to have to find out and see. And so, yeah, man. So, that was it with that. And so, right after that, man, we had the TNT Championship match. And it was Isiah Kassidy representing the AHFO with Matt Hardy and Marq Quen in his corner versus Sammy Guevara, who is the TNT champion. So, yeah, so Sammy Guevara, he came out wearing both of the TNT championships, the real TNT championship and the interim TNT title. And so, yeah, so, and also Sammy, he was wearing tape around his ribs, too, because of that ladder match they had with Cody Rhodes last week on Dynamite. And so, yeah, so both of these guys, they were going back and forth. Sammy, he had dove onto Cassidy outside the ring, and then Quen tried to get involved in the match, but Sammy had took him out. And then Matt Hardy got involved in the match behind the referee's back, and Hardy had hit a side effect to Sammy on the ring apron. And so Cassidy, he had to control the match during the commercial break, picture-in-picture, of course. And then Cassidy, he went right after Sammy's ribs. And so Sammy, he started to fight back. And then Sammy tried to go for his finishing move, the GTH, but his ribs started to act up. Sammy Guevara did. And so we had Andrade El Idolo. His theme music had played. A member of the AHFO came out with Jose, the assistant. And so, yeah, man. So he came ringside. He and Jose went ringside to watch the match. And so, yeah, man. So we had a backstabber to Sammy. He kicked out. And then a tope suicida to Sammy. And then Isiah Kassidy, he had hit a senton bomb to Sammy's back. And Sammy kicked out. And so, yeah, so Quen was about to get involved once again in this match, but Sammy saw it coming, and he had gave him an outside springboard moonsault, which was beautiful, man. Beautiful moonsault. And so, yeah, man, so Sammy, he had a diving cutter to Cassidy and kicked out. And so to end the match, we had Sammy Guevara hit his finishing move, the GTH, to Cassidy to win the match. So, therefore, Sammy Guevara wins the match and is still the TNT champion. And so, yeah, really good match, man. And so, yeah, so right after the match, we had the AHFO. They got in the ring. They tried to gang up on Sammy Guevara. And Chris Jericho, who is on commentary on AEW Rampage, he was about to leave commentary to go help out Sammy Guevara, you know, because they're both in the inner circle. And so, yeah, and so we had Darby Allin. He came out. Darby Allin, music had played, and so he came out running to the ring. And he stood side by side with Sammy Guevara. And so, yeah, so the AHFO, they had backed off. They didn't attack Darby or Sammy. They just backed off. And so, yeah, man. So, yeah, because you know the AHFO they want to recruit Darby Allin, so that's why they didn't attack. So yeah, man. So and then right after the AHFO they left, we had Darby Allin. He looked at Sammy and he looked at the championships. So he just patted both of the championships, signifying that he's next for the titles. And so yeah, and so that was it with that. So we might be seeing a match with Darby and Sammy for the TNT title. And of course Sammy is gonna retain because he gotta get his win back. He gotta get his win back because they had a match in the past in 2020. I think it was Revolution 2020. They had a match. Sammy lost to Darby, so I'm guessing when the match happens, Sammy retains his championship and get his win back. And so yeah, man. So that was pretty much it with that, man. Pretty much it. And so yeah, so right after that, man, we had a vignette from QT Marshall. And so he spoke. He talked about Hook. He doesn't like how Hook carries himself, and so he has a match for Hook next week. QT Marshall, he has Hook in a match with one of his top students in the factory on Rampage next week. And so yeah, so that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. He was backstage. He interviews Kris Statlander.
We're back on Rampage. Kris Statlander, what is it about the attitude now of Layla Hirsch?
The attitude. See, I've been observing Layla lately.
Right.
And we've all known she has this amateur background.
That's right.
But this here is professional.
Right.
So I think she should start acting like a professional.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
Hirsch
Layla Hirsch from behind hit Kris Statlander with a chair.
from out of nowhere with that chair to the spine of Statlander. You heard that shot.
Oh.
Massive knee strike by Layla Hirsch, just laying out Statlander. Didn't even have a chance to defend herself.
And Red Velvet went to go check on Statlander.
We're back.
And that was it, man. That was it with that. And so, yeah, so of course they have their feud going on. Legit Layla Hirsch recently turned heel. And so, yeah, man, so that was pretty much it with that, man. And so, yeah, so right after that, man, we had a match, another match, and it was Mercedes Martinez versus Thunder Rosa. So this is Mercedes Martinez's AEW singles match debut. And so, yeah, so Rosa, she started unloading on Martinez because, you know, Martinez, she had costed Thunder Rosa that tournament match. She had made Thunder Rosa lose in that title match or tournament match. And so so that's why Rosa went to go unload on Martinez. And so we had a suplex to Martinez on the floor, and we had a spine buster to Rosa, and then Rosa had kicked out, and so Martinez had took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And then we had an avalanche Death Valley driver to Rosa. She kicks out. And so we had a version of the Fire Thunder driver to Martinez, but Martinez, she had rolled out of the ring. And so both were fighting outside the ring. And so to end the match, we had Martinez, she had grabbed a pipe from under the ring and she hit Rosa with the pipe for the disqualification. So therefore, Martinez got disqualified. So therefore, Thunder Rosa wins the match. Thunder Rosa wins the match by disqualification. And so, yeah, that was pretty much it, man. Pretty much it with the match. Match was good. I did not expect it DQ finish. But, yeah, man. But that was pretty much it with that, man. Pretty much it. And so, yeah, man. So, right after that, man, we had Serena Deeb. We had a vignette from Serena Deeb. So, yeah, so Serena Deeb, she said, "It's in my blood. The wolf inside will always chase, thrive, rise, feed. Keep running, I'm faster." And so that was pretty much it. So she's taking a page out of Sammy Guevara's book with the reading of the promos, but this time it's in video form for Serena Deeb. So yeah, man, so that was pretty much it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, man, we had Tony Schiavone. He interviews Mercedes Martinez backstage.
Quite a debut on Rampage for Mercedes Martinez. But what about the lead pipe?
What about the lead pipe? I told everyone from the beginning that I was here to take Thunder Rosa out by any means necessary.
DQ?
Whoa.
DQ?
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, interrupts the promo.
Mercedes, that's not what we discussed.
Wait, what do you mean you discussed? What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
because
tell me.
somebody here hasn't been able to get the job done recently, so I brought in a little help. What, you thought Jade was smart enough to bring in Mercedes? Look, I know Mark Sterling handed you the check, but you better remember who signed it. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
You need to remember that I did my job. You told me to take Thunder Rosa out, and that is exactly what I did.
Okay. Okay, sure, you softened her up. Now finish the job. She does not beat you again. Understand? Or I'll make sure your time here at AEW is shorter than the time at your last job.
Wow.
Let's go.
So yeah, that was it with that. So Baker, she had brought Mercedes Martinez in, so it was revealed later. And so yeah, man. So as a mercenary, and so yeah, man. So that came as a shock to me. I did not expect that. But yeah, man. That was it with that, man. So looks like we have another match with Rosa and Martinez. And so yeah, man. And so yep, that was pretty much it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had Mark Henry. But before we get into the main event, let's talk about next week's show. Let's talk about Rampage. And we're gonna talk about next week's Dynamite. So yeah, so for next week's Dynamite, we have for the AEW World Championship match, it's gonna be a Texas Death Match for the AEW World Title. It's gonna be Hangman Adam Page, who is the AEW World Champion, versus Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer, on Wednesday. And then we have Tony Khan. So Tony Khan has a huge announcement next week on AEW Dynamite. And then we hear from MJF on Dynamite. So we hear from MJF following his historic win over CM Punk. And then we have the Face of the Revolution qualifying match on Wednesday. And then we have the Inner Circle team meeting next week on Dynamite. And that was it for Dynamite. And so for Rampage, we have Hook. So Hook will be in action versus QT Marshall's top student, Blake Lee, on Rampage next Friday. And so also we have the AEW World Tag Team title match. Is going to be for the AEW World Tag Team titles. It's going to be the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, with Christian Cage in their corner, versus Colton and Austin Gunn with Billy Gunn in their corner for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And so yeah, so that's pretty much it for next week's show, for Wednesday and for next Friday. And yeah, man. And right after that, we have Mark Henry. He was backstage. He interviews Jay Lethal and Ricky Starks, who is the FTW champion. Absolute Ricky Starks, who is the FTW champion, with Powerhouse Hobbs in his corner. And they were split screen.
Jay Lethal, you are facing the Absolute Ricky Starks tonight for the FTW title. Are you worried about Will Hobbs interfering?
Uh-oh.
I'm definitely worried. In fact, if you look, there's two of them there right now and only one of me. And the thing that Ricky Stark should be worried about is I'm going to knock that ego down a peg or two, because I'm going to burst that bubble you've been living in, because tonight I am leaving as the new FTW champion, Ricky.
There's no ego. There's no ego from me at all. I acknowledge the fact that you've done a lot in wrestling and you are very tenured. But what you need to acknowledge from me is the fact that you've never been in the ring with somebody like me. I am cut from a different cloth. I'm the last of a dying breed, and there is a reason they call me Absolute.
Well, it sounds like you got it all figured out, but let me ask you this, something you haven't thought about. What happens if tonight you leave without the FTW Championship? What will Taz think of you then? What will become of Ricky Starks then? Well, I'll tell you, let's find out.
Well, it looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event.
And so yeah, man, let's get into the main event. So yeah, so the main event was for the FTW Championship match. For the FTW Championship, so it was Jay Lethal versus Absolute Ricky Starks, who is the FTW champion, representing Team Taz, with Powerhouse Hobbs in his corner. And so yeah, Lethal, he had the one up on Starks. And so Starks, he had slapped Lethal right in his face. And so Lethal started unloading on Starks. And so they were both going back and forth with chops. We had two tope suicidas to Starks. And then Hobbs, he had gotten Lethal's face. And then Starks, he had took out Lethal. And so Starks, he had took control of the match during a commercial break. Picture in picture, of course. And we had a series of roll-ups to Starks. He kicked out. And then we had a backbreaker into a flatliner to Starks, and he kicks out. And then Starks had hit a Liger bomb to Lethal, which was beautiful, man. And Lethal had kicked out. And so once again, these guys are going back and forth with chops and strikes. And then Hobbs, he had tried to get involved in the match. He got in a ring apron, but Lethal had took him out. And so so Lethal tried to hit Hobbs with a tope, but Hobbs either stepped back. I think Hobbs either stepped back or Jay Lethal undershot it. But I think it was Hobbs. I think Hobbs had stepped back, and Lethal, he just didn't get enough And so yeah, so Lito he went crashing down on the floor on the stage ramp. And so yeah, and then we had Dante Martin. So we had Dante Martin. He came out of nowhere and he just dove onto Hobbs. So he came in the ring, jumped on the top rope, hit a springboard cross body. It looked like on Hobbs. And so yeah, and so we had Lito. He had hit a cutter to Starks, and then Lito tried to go for his finishing move, the Lito injection, but Starks had turned it into his finishing move, the Rochambeau, to win the match. That was a beautiful transition, man, to win the match. So therefore, Ricky Starks wins the match and is still the FTW champion, man. Great stuff, man. Great match, dude. Great match. And yeah, man, I'm glad to see the FTW Championship getting some recognition, man, because in the past it was not getting no recognition at all. But Ricky Starks, FTW champion, great representative for that title, and it's great to see the FTW Championship getting recognition, man. And yeah, man, Team Taz, man, Team Taz, always was a fan of Team Taz. At first I wasn't, but yeah, man, since they added Hobbs and everything, and Starks became the champion, they started to become one of my favorite groups, man, in AEW. And so yeah, man, and the makeup of the group is really good, man. The makeup of the group is what makes them a great group, man. We had Taz as the mouthpiece and the leader, the mentor, and the commentator too. And so yeah, Starks as the FTW champion. You have Hobbs as the heavy and the muscle, and you have Hook. Even though Hook is doing his own thing right now, he's still a part of the group, and he's this young, up and coming killer, man. And yeah, man, just such a great form, of Team Taz, man. And so yeah, man, it's a shame that Brian Cage is not a part of Team Taz anymore. It started off with Brian Cage, but it's a shame that he's not a part of the group anymore, and he's not in the company right now. And so yeah, man. So yep. But right now, man, Team Taz. They are thriving right now, man. They are really thriving. And so yeah, man. The question is like, what's next? Who's next for Starks? Who's next, and who's gonna go after that FTW title? Who? And so yeah, man. So yeah, that's the question. Who is gonna come after him? But yeah, man, that was pretty much it with AEW Rampage, man. Really good show, man. Really good show. Enjoyed the TNT title match and the FTW title match too. Two of the best things on this show. Adam Cole going after the AEW World Championship potentially. And so yeah, man. So that great stuff, man. Everything on this show is good, man. Everything on this show is great. But yeah, man. And that was it, man. That was it with AEW Rampage, the review for February the 4th, 2022 on the Ryan Awesome Show. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second half of the Ryan Awesome Show. So for the second half, as mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about AEW Rampage for February the 11th, 2022. So yeah, so we just got finished talking about Rampage. So what you saw before was the last week's review of AEW Rampage for February the 4th. And now we're going to talk about AEW Rampage for February the 11th, 2022. So for tonight's show. And so yeah, man, overall, man, really good show, man. Enjoyed that tag team title match with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus the Gun Club. I thought that was really good, man. Probably the best match on the show. And yeah, man. And yep, and that was it, man. We had a great tag team match to start off the show with the Bucks and Roppongi Vice. And yeah, man. And yeah, same as usual, AEW Rampage 1 hour show. And yeah, it really flies by really fast too, man. Great 1 hour show, man. Tonight for AEW Rampage was taped in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And so yeah, so our first match of the night, we had the Young Bucks, so that's Matt and Nick Jackson with Bryan and Cutler in their corner versus Roppongi Vice. So that's Trent, Beretta, and Rocky Romero with Orange Cassidy in their corner. So yeah, man, so as soon as the show started, man, we were right in the match. The match already started. And so yeah, so both of these teams, they were going back and forth, and then the Young Bucks, they tried walking away from the match, but Roppongi Vice went right after them, and then the Bucks gave them super kicks, so they tricked them. They tricked them, and so they ran to the ring. They tried to get the count out victory, and so Rocky ended up making it back in the ring at 9. And so yeah, man, and so at one point Orange Cassidy, he went under the ring. He just slid under the ring, and so we had a thumb that just came from under the ring, and so the Bucks had pulled this person out from under the ring, and so it was Danhausen. So Danhausen was there. He showed up, And so yeah, and so the Bucks or the best friends rather, or the Roppongi Vice rather, the Roppongi Vice they hit Tope Suicidas to the Bucks. And so Danhausen he had gave the best friends and Rocky Romero a fist bump, and then he walked away. And so yeah, the Bucks they ended up taking back control in the match, and so they ended up mocking the best friends, and they did the best friend hug, and they did the camera pan out, so the camera had panned out when they did the best friends hug. The Bucks did, and so yeah, so we had a hot tag to Trent, he took out the Bucks, and we had a Doomsday Device knee strike to Nick from Roppongi Vice, and we had double German suplexes to the Bucks from Roppongi Vice, and so both of these teams once again was going back and forth. We had an avalanche German suplex to Matt from Trent, and then we had the strong zero to Matt from Trent, and then Nikki had broke up the pin, so I thought that was it. And so yeah, so Matt at one point he avoided the Doomsday Device by landing on his feet. He took the move, but he landed on his feet, and so Matt he had gave Roppongi Vice super kicks, and so we had the Meltzer driver to Rocky from the Bucks, so they hit their finishing move, the Meltzer driver to Rocky, and then Trent he had broke up the pin. And so to end the match, man, we had the BTE trigger to Rocky from the Bucks to win the match. So therefore, the Young Bucks wins the match. And that was it, man. Really fiery match to start off the show. And so yeah, so right after the match, we had Brandon Cutler. He got in the ring, and Orange Cassidy was in the ring too, checking on Rocky. And so yeah, so Cutler he was taunting Orange Cassidy, getting in his face, and then he started spraying the cold spray in Orange's face, and it didn't work because Orange Cassidy he's wearing glasses. So it didn't blind him. And so yeah, and so Orange he started giving Brandon Cutler the most devastating kicks, and then he gave Brandon Cutler an orange punch. And then the Bucks had came in and gave a super kick to Orange, and then the Bucks they had ran away. Trent went right after the Bucks, and then from behind we had Jay White. We had Jay White from behind. He had his finishing move, the Blade Runner to Trent, and that was it, man. That was pretty much it with that. And so Jay White of course made his AEW Dynamite debut. So yeah, once again, it's great to see Jay White, man. And so yeah, man. So yeah, right after that, man, we had Tony Schiavone. He was backstage. He interviews Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson, get your opinion on CM Punk teaming with Jon Moxley Wednesday.
You know, I know what people want. People want me to be bothered. They want me to be a little bit perturbed. They think that Jon Moxley turned down my offer, but no, Jon Moxley just likes to fight. And here's the thing, my offer and CM Punk's offer are two entirely different things. I want a long-term relationship to help build AEW. And what Moxley got with CM Punk on Wednesday was just a one-night stand.
Okay, well.
A one-night stand.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry to interrupt your wonderful episode of Love Line with Tony Schiavone, but Bryan
So we had Matt Sydal and Lee Moriarty. They interrupted Bryan's interview.
Last week, I'm bothered by what you said, that Lee Moriarty should abandon my mentorship.
Wait. I hope that you're not misinterpreting me. I have an infinite amount of respect for you, Matt. Do. You're a tremendous wrestler, excellent talent. I'm sure an excellent coach.
We can be better together.
But what Lee needs, you can't teach him.
Ooh.
He needs to learn violence.
Hey, hold on. I don't need y'all standing around talking about me like I'm not right here. You want to see violence? I can show you violence.
You see, that's what I wanted to see. Somebody to step up. Show me how much violence you've got inside you when I face you Wednesday on Dynamite.
Ooh.
Oh, all right. Excalibur, let's go back to you guys.
So yeah, man. So we have a challenge. So we have a match that was announced. So it's gonna be Bryan Danielson versus Lee Moriarty on AEW Dynamite. So yeah, that should be really good, man. And so yeah, man. And Bryan Danielson, of course, he wants Lee Moriarty to be on his team. He wants him to be on his side. So yeah, so on Wednesday should be a great match. And so yeah, man. So that was it with that. And so right after that, man, we had Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who is the AEW Women's World Champion, with Rebel in her corner versus Robin Renegade. So yeah, man, this was actually a good match, man. So yeah, so both of these ladies, they were going back and forth, and then Baker, she had took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And then Renegade, she fought back. She had a frog splash to Baker, and then Baker had kicked out. And so yeah, so Baker, she had hit a fisherman's neck breaker to Renegade, followed up by the curb stomp to win the match. So therefore, Dr. Britt Baker wins the match. And so yeah, and so right after the match, we had Rebel. She had handed Baker the surgical glove, and she locked in the lockjaw to Renegade. And so Thunder Rosa, her music had hit, and so she ran out to the ring, and she took out Rebel, and she attacked Dr. Britt Baker, and then we had Jamie Hayter, who wasn't out there. She came out, and she attacked Thunder Rosa, and so we had Mercedes Martinez, the hired gun, came out, and she wanted a piece of Thunder Rosa too, but her and Baker, or her and Jamie Hayter, they were fighting over. You know, Jamie Hayter and Martinez were pushing and shoving each other, you know, trying to get to Thunder Rosa. You know, they try to take credit for themselves for taking out Thunder Rosa. And so, yeah, man, so that was pretty much it with that, man. That was pretty much it. So, of course, we do have a match on AEW Dynamite with Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa in a no disqualification match on Dynamite this Wednesday. And so, right after that, man, we had another match, and it was Hook representing Team Taz, Hook versus Blake Lee, who is QT Marshall's top student of the factory, with QT Marshall in his corner. And so, yeah, so Lee, he tried to out-wrestle Hook, but he failed. And so, yeah, Hook, he had a gut-wrench suplex to Lee, which is beautiful, man. Beautiful gut-wrench suplex. And then Hook, he started throwing Lee around. And then QT, he tried to get on the ring apron. Or QT, he did get on the ring apron. He tried to distract Hook. And so, yeah, man, so Hook ended up hitting a T-bone suplex to Lee. And so to end the match, man, we had Hook, he had locked in a submission move, the Redrum, to Lee to win the match. So therefore, Hook wins the match. Hook wins the match. And yeah, man, Hook, he may as well just main event the show, man. Rampage is his show. Rampage is Hook's show. One day we will see him on Dynamite, competing on Dynamite, but Rampage is his show, man. Rampage is his show. Of course, he made his debut on Rampage too, so he's been stacking up wins on Rampage. He's never been anywhere else. In ring-wise, he never been anywhere else. Not on Dark, not on Elevation, not on Dynamite, but Rampage. That's why Rampage is his show. And so, yeah, man, I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait to see Hook one day going up on Dynamite, like just having a match on Dynamite and potentially going after a title, man. Most specifically the TNT Championship. Or he can go after the FTW Championship. You know, either way works. But, yeah, man. But Hook, he will have some gold. He will have some gold wrapped around his waist this year, man. This year, man. He will. And so, yeah, man. So, before we get into the main event, man, let's talk about next week's show for AEW Dynamite. So, yeah, so next week we have the Inner Circle implodes. Inner Circle implodes. So, that's Jericho and Hager. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager versus Santana and Ortiz on Wednesday. Mercedes Martinez versus Thunder Rosa in a no disqualification match. And then we have a qualifying match. We have a qualifying match. The Face of the Revolution qualifying match is going to be Wardlow versus Max Caster on Wednesday for Dynamite. And also on Dynamite, we have Bryan Danielson versus Lee Moriarty on AEW Dynamite. And also on Wednesday, we have the TNT Championship match. And it's going to be Sammy Guevara, the TNT champion, versus Darby Allin. Or Sammy Guevara, the undisputed TNT champion, versus Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. And also, we have another qualifying match, but this time it's going to be on AEW Rampage next Friday. So it's going to be Dante Martin versus Powerhouse Hobbs of Team Taz. And so, yeah, so next Friday, Rampage will start at a different time. And so, yeah, so for me, it's going to start at 6 o'clock. So it's going to be 7 Eastern. And I'm in Central Time, so it's going to start at 6 o'clock for me, 6 o'clock p.m. So, yeah, on TNT. And also on AEW Rampage, we have Trent Beretta versus Jay White on next Friday for AEW Rampage. So, yeah, man. I expected Jay White to be on Dynamite, like having a match on Dynamite, not on Rampage. That's just my opinion. But yeah, that was it with that. The match card for Rampage and AEW Dynamite for next week. AEW Rampage for next week and AEW Dynamite this coming Wednesday. And so yeah, man. So before we get into the main event, we had Mark Henry, who was backstage. He interviewed Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, who are the AEW World Tag Team Champions, with Christian Cage in their corner, and the Gun Club, Austin and Colton Gunn, with Billy Gunn in their corner. So he interviewed them split screen.
Welcome back to Rampage. Billy, Austin, and Colton are undefeated and the #1 contenders in the tag team division. And Christian Cage mentioned something about them not making enough of a statement.
Well, he did. When I came to talk to him man-to-man about this match,
they weren't worthy. Well, Christian, you might want to think twice because you got your ass beat. Then we made another statement and beat Jungle's ass. But tonight,
Beat
we
Jungle's
will make the biggest
ass.
statement of all. When Colton and Austin walk out AEW Tag Team Champions.
You know, here's the thing, Billy. I'm glad your shirt there says "Say When" because I think somebody said that like 20 years ago, and here we are 20 years later. You did it. You did it. Congratulations. You finally made a statement. Way to go. But it's a good news, bad news situation. The good news is, yes, you got your World Tag Team title match. Bad news is, after tonight, it's back to the end of the line for the Ass Boys.
You know, guys, speaking of the Ass Boys, a great undefeated streak is something that people will remember for a lifetime. And what you guys have going here, well, it's actually not one of those. But what you guys are going to remember is Atlantic City making you feel right at home with the loudest Ass Boys chants you've ever heard in your entire lives.
Well, it looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event.
So yeah, that was it with that, man. So yeah, the Ass Boys. So yeah, they have a nice ring to it because Billy Gunn was the ass man. So yeah, the main event, man. Let's get into the main event. So the main event was for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, and it was the Gunn Club. So that's Austin and Colton Gunn, aka the Ass Boys, with Billy Gunn in their corner. Oh yeah, and they trademarked the Ass Boys too. They're trying to get it trademarked, the Ass Boys. So yeah, anyway. So the Ass Boys with Billy Gunn in their corner versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, who are the AEW World Tag Team Champions, with Christian Cage in their corner. So yeah, man, enjoyed this match, man. Enjoyed this match. We had both of these teams still going back and forth. We had an assisted senton to Austin from Jungle Boy, and he kicked out. And we had a lariat to Jungle Boy from Colton, and Jungle Boy, he landed right on his head, so that was nasty. And then the Gun Club had took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And then we had a hot tag to Luchasaurus. He took out Austin and Colton. And so we had a tope gun hero to Austin and Colton from Jungle Boy. And then Luchasaurus, he had a moonsault press to Colton. And so at one point we had Jungle Boy. He accidentally toped Luchasaurus. And then we had Austin. He had hit a brain buster to Jungle Boy on the floor. And then Colton, he brought him back into the ring. He brought Jungle Boy back into the ring, and he went for the cover, and he put his foot on the ropes to try to use that extra leverage. But Christian Cage, he got on the ring apron and knocked Colton Gunn's foot off the ropes. And then we had Billy Gunn. He came around and he attacked Christian Cage. And so yeah, so Colton, he had grabbed one of the title belts. He had grabbed one of the AEW title belts, and he bashed Jungle Boy upside the head with the championship and went for the cover. And he kicked out. And so I thought that was legit it, man. And so yeah, so we had Christian Cage. He had speared Billy Gunn outside the ring. And so to end the match, man, we had Jungle Boy. He had hit Christian Cage's finishing move, the kill switch. So Jungle Boy hit the kill switch to Austin to win the match. So therefore, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus wins the match and are still the AEW World Tag Team Champions. And that was it, man. Great match, great showing from both teams. And yeah, man, probably the best match on this show, man. Probably the best match on this show. And yeah, man, who's next, man? Who's next for those titles, bro? If I had to take a guess, it's probably Malachi Black and Brody King. If I had to make my best guess, bro, they have a lot of challenges, man. A lot of challenges, bro, that they can go through. We have Fish and O'Reilly. We have the Bucks. We have Malachi Black and Brody King. Who else we have? We have the Best Friends, Roppongi Vice. Santana and Ortiz. Who else, man? We have FTR. We have the Lucha Bros. We have Private Party. Man, we have so many tag teams, bro. So many tag teams that can go after those championship belts. And so, yeah, man. And they should hold on to those titles, man. They should hold on to those titles because I don't know. I have no clue on who exactly are going to take those titles away from them. I really don't know. But yeah, man. But they need to continue to defend those titles. And this was a great title defense from Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. And so yeah, man. So that was pretty much it with AEW Rampage, bro. And yeah, man. And if you like the video, if you like the videos, hit the thumbs up, man. If you're new around here, or if you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show for the first time ever, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded, because I'm here each and every single week, man. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. We don't have anything on Saturday, or Sunday. Well, Sunday is the Super Bowl, but I don't watch football. But yeah, but Sunday is the Super Bowl. And yeah, man. And next Saturday is gonna be the Elimination Chamber, and then we have Impact Wrestling No Surrenders. See you guys when I see you guys, man. And once again, guys, thank you for the love and the support for the show. Thank you, and thank you, man. And yeah, man. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. And if you miss anything, bro, if you miss anything, any videos, it's all gonna be on the homepage. So yeah, man, make sure you check them out if you missed anything. And yeah, man. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.